let's start with the speculation of what the Harvey aid issue does to Congress.
Sure.
I think there was some reports today, a lot of chatter that between aid that's necessary to Texas, that is used as the ability to keep the lights on temporarily in the government, that a deal is struck quickly, debt ceiling is raised, and it's all done in one great package, bow tied on it. Everybody lives happily ever after. What's the likelihood of something like that in September now?
Well, I don't know. Both things really have to get done. My heart's out to the people of Texas, and I think the response has been great so far from the federal government. But certainly emergency funding for them. But a debt limit by any means has to be passed, whether it's a clean debt limit or it's combined with something else. I just wanted to pass. I worry about its effect on the economy by roiling financial capital markets if, in fact, it does not pass.
So you'd be in favor of the idea of, hey, lump it all together in some must-pass legislation, like Harvey aid, politically is must-pass legislation, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, let's move on, because it is interesting. One of the reasons you wanted to come on is you want to talk about a bill you plan on introducing that actually has a connection to the Gulf Coast, and it's this idea of increasing the sanctions on Venezuela to include essentially an oil embargo. And it is the Gulf Coast states' representatives, Texas, Louisiana among them, that have been pushing back against this idea and pleaded with the White House not to include oil in the sanctions of Venezuela, so they didn't. Respond to that argument from the Gulf Coast, your Gulf Coast colleagues who are saying, don't do this, bad for the American economy.
Well, first of all, the Venezuelan government, the country of Venezuela is rapidly descending into a Cuban-style dictatorship, an authoritarian government with no respect for human rights. And I think we have an opportunity, before this window completely closes, through a ban on the sale of Venezuelan oil and Venezuelan refined products, oil products to the United States, to be able to at least get Venezuela to recognize its democratic elected officials and restore the assembly, the National Assembly. And so where the president and the vice president have both mentioned military intervention as an option and have left that on the table. As a Marine Corps combat veteran, let me tell you, I think paying a higher price for gasoline at the pump is a lot less costly than shedding the blood of our young men and women who serve this country in uniform. Do
you acknowledge, though, that given the impact that Harvey may have on our oil markets, considering how many refineries are in the Gulf Coast,
sure,
that this makes your efforts that much harder to find a majority to support you on this decision?
Well, about 4% of U.S. consumption is based on Venezuelan oil, and it is a heavier crude that's important for certain refined products that we don't produce, that we produce an intermediate or a lighter crude in the United States, but Canada produces a heavier crude. So I just don't think the disruption would be all that great. But again, I think this is a country that's a 3-hour flight from the shores of the United States that again is descending into a Cuban-style dictatorship, and it's important as well to the countries in the region who also don't want this country to descend into a dictatorship and want the institutions of democracy that this country has restored.
Question on the border wall. Are you, I'm curious where you are on it, whether you support it or not, but is it something that if you don't support it, you're fine if it's included in a funding bill that raises the debt limit and does something? I mean, is this something you're willing to be persuaded on by the president when it comes to the border wall? How necessary do you think it is, and how much of it should be sort of a hot point of debate when we're debating the government keeping the lights on, debt limit, et cetera?
Well, I mean, I think it's important simply because I want to get to immigration reform, and I realize that we have to secure our borders. before, in fact, we move to that next step about immigration reform. So I think it's important, probably from a different perspective. I think our borders are relatively secure now. They could be more secure. I see it more as a barrier in critical areas than a wall.
So you support the idea of maybe starting the funding for the wall if you think it sparks the conversation on immigration? Let me ask you this. Would you trade funding the border wall for keeping DACA in place?
Well, I think DACA needs to be in place. I mean, first of all, I support the president's proposal in terms of the funding for the start of a border wall. I think probably it's not going to be a continuous wall. But I do think, separate from that, I think that preserving and protecting DACA is very important, and I think DACA is under a serious threat right now. These are young people that were brought to the United States as children. They didn't make the decision to come here. Their parents and their relatives made the decision to come here. They didn't knowingly violate the law. Their parents and the adults who took them here violated the law. So I think we should certainly look at them differently. I think DACA is a great program, and I think it ought to be protected.
All right, Congressman Mike Coffman, I'm going to leave it there. It's going to be a busy September, and you're trying to make it more busy.
It's going to be very
with the
busy.
debate on Venezuela oil, that's for sure. Congressman, thanks for coming on and sharing your views. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Chuck.
All right, as you know, Republican congressman from suburban Denver.